Most wealth transfers fail. Today on Prep Air, we're going to look at ways to keep you on course through 4 stages to help you successfully pass your wealth and other valuables. The legacy planning process can be viewed across 4 stages of development, and most people only do one of these stages. This is a crucial mistake. We have some tips here for starting your legacy plan or fixing it. Often I get the question, do you have a good estate planning attorney that you recommend? I need to update my will. This is great because this means that we're focusing on legacy planning. However, this also tells me that they're probably going to do this quickly and it will be shallow. I'm going to make this easy for you to remember the 4 stages to passing on a successful legacy. We call it P.A.S.S. Prepare, assemble, serve, and sustain. If you do this, you stand to beat the odds of failure. I've attended many attorney-client sessions. In most cases, a client shows up to meet their attorney, exchanging a few niceties, then the attorney begins by asking some background information, with most of the time spent trying to decide who to pick as representatives. Fill in the blanks. Move on. And often it's the clients who are trying to push the pace. They want to get their documents done quickly because they're getting ready to travel on a plane. This is the setting. This is where the decisions and actions are made, quick and direct. A draft follows with a brief call to confirm the names are correctly spelled, then a drive-by to sign the documents, hopefully fast enough that you can park illegally without even getting a ticket. Yay, we now have documents. Here's the problem though. This process skips over the first important stage, the first P, preparation. This is the stage where you learn about legacy planning. You gather information from experienced parties, and you talk with your interested parties. If your beneficiaries are at a competent age, then ask them primary questions. I provide an example in my presentation about fiscalosophy. Conduct these discussions to understand their viewpoints and seek to find some initial agreements. This way you can recognize potential problems and seek ways to avoid them, because as you are beginning, you're recognizing them being your beneficiaries. Preparatory discussions may prove to be the most valuable activity you do in this process. For example, instead of transferring everything at your death, through arrangements that you simply dictate via your estate documents, you may realize that it's important and appropriate to consider a gifting plan while you're alive, sort of like reviving an allowance, except this time your children have real financial commitments, like their own children. And besides, you may want to see the smiles on those little faces while you're alive. Use this preparation stage to learn how others have approached their plan, especially those with older children who are intentional about their preparations. Also, you can connect with the people that you're considering to pick as your representatives. And you can interview the attorney, maybe for free prior to your visit. You can ask important questions, like what is your philosophy for asset protection and distributions to children? What type of trust do you commonly draft? What is your preferred process? And what key decisions or homework should we prepare before visiting with you? Next stage, A for assembly. This is the discussion with your attorney that I described, where you make your selections and you get your documents signed. But assembling your documents doesn't end your legacy plan, though this is where it stops for most. You need to keep going to the next stage, S for serve. This is when you provide copies of your documents to your representatives and collaborate with them to begin a mentoring plan for your beneficiaries to build their knowledge and skills progressively for their financial empowerment. This stage may also include going to various financial institutions to retitle matters, getting your affairs organized, and working on your values so you can convey clear messaging by completing your legacy letter that I described in a previous episode. This stage is for them. It can be tough and a grind, admittedly, But think about how hard it would be to get this done if you weren't around to help with it. It will cost them more. This stage is also about considering some creative solutions, maybe the installation of a family bank. In our next season, we will plan to cover some of these techniques in more detail. But for now, my point is that you need to actively serve your beneficiaries and your representatives if you care about your legacy plan, so that you can set them up in the right direction. The last stage, S for sustain, is when your legacy plan is operating. If you've done your work through the first 3 stages, you should be able to see your plan in action, the roles and responsibilities taking hold and taking shape. You still need to be proactive with the goal to foresee that your legacy plan will continue to work. Remember, life changes, so you need to be flexible and continue to work on your arrangements. This is both important and rewarding so that you can successfully pass your valuable capital into a system that works. With this initial series, we have intentionally focused mostly on that first stage of preparation because we want to capture your attention before you jump to document assembly with shallow selections. Experience tells us it's better to prepare than to repair. We endeavor to continue covering the legacy planning process through all stages for your benefit. We'll cover different types of trusts and other cool strategies and provide more practical tools. Right now, we're beginning to plan our second series, though we need to see your feedback to know if we're hitting the right notes and if this is beneficial. Your reply to this simple question will keep us going. What's your number one single biggest financial challenge right now? We want to see specific replies because we want to provide what you seek. And this is how you can contribute for others. Also, please spread the word to those you care about so we can keep it going for them too. In the meantime, continue to do the work and keep building.